think I need to say that guard, ancient servant sharp here is a staple. I probably should have added that in the last video. It's a staple. You should run 4 of it in every deck you ever play. Cool. Let's go to white and see what the how we're doing with white cards. Oh, there's so much less to go over. Maybe we'll do all the colors all at once then. Hi guys, it's me. I'm Andrew, and I'm here with the Life Burst at the Wixoss podcast. We're gonna talk about the set review. In this case, we're gonna go over all the colors of the Nijisanji deck, the Ancient Surprise deck, and the Interlude Diva deck, Interlude Diva set. As we do the set review for this, let's talk about them. Something to note is that all of the white and black signy you're gonna see are virtual. I'm going to just go ahead and knock this out of the park right away. Virtual are good in this set and then never exist again, and only matter if you decide to make a Toko or Ange deck. So we're going to view them a little bit in that lens, and then we're also going to, if some of them are good outside of the virtual deck, we will talk about it. But very rarely are any of these good outside of the virtual deck. But let's just start off, and we're going to try to go in order of the levels. Level 1 Signy here. Power 3000. Her name is, oh god, I'm gonna kill all of these names. Chihiro Yuki. It's got a constant ability. As long as there are 3 or more virtual Signy on your field, this Signy gets plus 5,000 power. It's a 7,000 power. It's not good. Just pumping your power on its own in this game, not good. There are other things that you could be doing. Sneak peek just ahead of time here, like what Himiwara does, that are better. You need some. There's no reason you'd play this over a multicolored card or something. So for now, this card is trash. Going over into the next level 1, we've got Sarah. Sarah is a 5,000 powered white and black multicolored Signy. Multicolored Signy are good. They're always going to be good. They're your baseline for if you are looking to see if something's good or bad. In my opinion, you can always play multicolored Signy, and it will never be terrible. So yeah, this is a staple. I don't think you're ever going to be running more than 2 of these probably, but you can, and no one would besmirch you for it. Moving right along into other level 1s, we've got Ro Yuzuki, and it's got a lot of text here. Level 1, 2,000 power. This one has a life burst. Let's talk about that life burst real quick. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck. Reveal up to 2 Signy from among them. Add them to your hand. Put the rest on the bottom in any order. So basically, life burst, draw 2 cards. Its enter ability. Look at the top 2 cards of your deck. You may reveal an Arzamal from among them and then add them to your hand. Put the rest on the bottom in any order. If you are really searching for Arzamal, then you could play this. So I'm going to put this down as barely playable. But there's so many other level 1 Signy that I would play over it, including Sarah. And there's going to be another one in black that is just 1,000 times better. This just sort of falls lower and lower and lower. But it could find Arzamal, and Arzamal's a good card, so cool. Another level 1 here, Sister Claire. Sister Claire is a level 1 with 2,000 power. It has a life burst. Target Signy on your opponent's field gains can't attack this turn. Draw a card. Basically, it negates a Signy attack and draws you a card. That is not, that life burst is a constant life burst that exists in white, and it's something that when I look at, I don't think it detracts from the card, and I don't think it adds to the card very much either. It's pretty net neutral. So that alone makes the card genuinely just okay. It's okay. You have the enter ability where you can up a target virtual Signy on your field. So if it's down, you can up it. There's a combo with that later in the set in black. That is an okay combo. So it's worth putting in there. If you have a frozen virtual, you can up it, and it's good. Then you get the ability of, if you have Rushin and Dola both on the field, you get to draw a card. I've played 4 of those cards in my deck with Sister Claire, and it has never happened. So just don't pretend like that exists. Sister Claire is playable. It's not great. It's not good. It's playable. Moving right along to, that's all your level 1s in white. Great. Cool. If you're going to take anything away from this, it'd be so far that Sarah is probably the best level 1 in these colors so far. Going over into level 2, we have Ichiko. Ichiko is a level 2, 3,000 power, which is low for a level 2. Whenever the Signy attacks, you reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a virtual Signy, you draw a card. There's a lot of two level 2 Signys in white that draw cards. This is very replaceable. I wouldn't necessarily call it trash, but it's also just like, you could probably replace it with any level 2 that you have that's probably slightly better, and it will help your deck. So barely playable is the answer for this level 2. Here we've got Meow. I like to call this one Uzi Girl, because she's got I guess she doesn't have an Uzi. Now that I'm looking at it in big screen, I always thought she had an Uzi. She has a Glock and a bazooka. Jeez. It's a level 2, 10,000 multicolored. As always, multicoloreds are staples. If you're looking for a multicolored card that is black and white, this is you can't go wrong with this. Here we have Miji. She is a level 2 with 5,000 power, has a life burst effect that I actually like. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck, reveal a Signy from among them, add them to your hand or the field, put the rest on the bottom in any order. I don't like assists that ambush, but I like life bursts that ambush, because when the aggro deck is really aggroing you, if you get hit by this and they still have open lanes, you just block that open lane, and that is great. And at worst, you draw a card, right? And it could be a guard, which is pretty good. So I think this one is pretty good. It also has the enter ability of pay 1 white, look at the top 3 cards of your deck, reveal a virtual Signy from among them, add it to your hand, put the rest on the bottom in any order. It replaces itself. Like I said, if you're looking for a wall that just comes in, replaces itself, you can't really do better than that type of effect. So this card gets playable. This is probably a level 2 that if you're in the virtual deck, you probably want to consider. I don't think this one, however, is something you want to consider. Level 2, it's Rushin, 8,000 power. At the beginning of your attack phase, if you have a Sister Claire and a Dola, then both on your field, you may pay 3 enter, some of it being white. If you do, you can return 1 Signy from your opponent's field to their hand. It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. So if you line it up perfectly only to be rewarded by paying a lot of enter to do 1 removal, it's just not worth it. Compare it to Lancelot and then just be like, oh yeah, no, this card is bad. Trash it, please. Let's talk about level 3s now. Here we have an Era. Era is 10,000 power for level 3. That's fine. It has 2 enter abilities. One is colorless. If there's a Kazaki on your field, you can add target Signy with a guard from your trash to your hand. Very rarely is that going to happen. So it's not that great. And then you have the 3 enter ability, white, colorless. If there are 3 or more virtual Signy on your field, you can return target Signy from your opponent's field to their hand. Okay, so this one is playable. I don't think it's good, but it's playable. Having a level 3 that you can pay 3 mana, 3 enter into, and basically no matter what, toss something back to the hand, it's good. It's an okay effect. It's not overcosted and it's not undercosted. It's correctly costed. And I'm always looking for undercosted. So it is barely playable. Your other level 3 is Mars Amal. This one's a team card, so you have to play it in Sandbaka. Well, you don't have to, but you just don't get the auto ability if you do. Its auto ability is whenever the Signy attacks, if its power is 20,000 or more, you can discard a card. If you do, you can return target Signy from your opponent's field to the hand. Action once a turn, you can pay white. You can reveal any number of virtual Signy from your hand. It gets plus 1,000 power for each card revealed this way. You really can't pull this off in Toko, but you can pull this off in Ange. Realistically, if we are going to take all of the wordage and just turn it into one, it mostly says pay white, discard a card, return a Signy from your opponent's field to their hand. That's great. Like I said, 3 is correctly costed, and I'm looking for undercosted, even though this is making me discard a deck. This deck excels at pulling cards out of the graveyard to put them back in your hand. So yeah, no, this is great removal, but you probably need to be playing Ange to pull this off. Another level 3 is Himawari. Himawari is, spoilers, basically just a better Arcwane. And Arcwane is a staple. So if you're playing Virtual, this is a staple. Otherwise, this card is playable. So I want to be clear about this. Let me read the card first. Level 3, 12,000 power. It's got an auto ability at the beginning of your opponent's main phase. Reveal the top card of your deck. If that card is a virtual Signy, gain Shadow till end of turn. It has the action ability. Once a turn, you can look at the top 3 cards of your deck, reveal a Signy from among them, add it to your hand, put one of those on the top of your deck, aka a virtual card, so you can get Shadow on your opponent's turn, and then the rest on the bottom in any order. This card's great. This card controls your attack phase. It lets you... It gains Shadow on your opponent's attack phase and allows you to put up a wall and replace itself. This card is genuinely a good card. If you don't have Arcwanes, and you need Arcwanes in your deck, this card could do a passable copy of it. If you have 2 Arcwanes and you want to put 2 of these in here to make it kind of be there, it does it. In the virtual deck, it's just better than Arcwane. So it's a staple in that deck. Otherwise, playable. I wouldn't besmirch you for playing this in a white deck. The last level 3 here is, let me get it in the screen a bit better. Motoko. I like the art a lot. It's a vanilla 13,000, but you gotta remember that in white, you can be a defensive wall deck. There are white decks that do that. So 13,000 is a good stat line to have for that. It also has a okay life burst of put target up Signy from your opponent's field into the trash. Not into its hand, not into the enter zone, doesn't banish it, into the trash. The life burst is, even though it has upped in the word in the life burst, which is bad, a good life burst. If you're looking for some life bursts to fill out and you have an open level 3 slot, this could work. It doesn't have to be in a virtual only deck. It's better in a virtual only deck, but it's an okay card. Playable, literally just playable. And then we have one spell here, Future and Slash. It costs 5 enter. Return target Signy on your opponent's field to their hand. Its life burst effect is the absolute same. Return target Signy from your opponent's field to their hand. It's an amazing life burst, by the way. It doesn't say upped at all. It just pops something back to the hand when that happens. That's great. It's a terrible spell. 5 enter to do that is terrible. I am going to go on a limb here and say trash. A lot of people say it's an okay spell to throw in. Sometimes they throw it in as, like, for example, MC Lion's 9th and 10th spell. I hate this card. I don't like cards that aren't playable on both ends of the field, in terms of if it's your life cloth and if it's your in your hand. I guess you could enter charge it, so it's not terrible. It is. Other people will say it's playable. I'm going to say it's trash. And there's your white cards.